Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to the online Bible study from the Crossing Community Church. As we continue our emphasis on the essentials of Christianity, today's focus will be on the return of Jesus. Jesus will return to establish his eternal kingdom. Our focal passages today will be in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, all the way from verse 3 through verse 44. Well, we often look forward to major milestones in life with both excitement and anxiety or trepidation. Graduation. Graduation marks a major accomplishment. The graduate has passed all the requirements. The excitement of having finished the work is accompanied by nervous anticipation. I now have to step into the real world. Marriage. He has found the love of his life. He's excited to marry her, but he's nervous about all the challenges and responsibilities that come with sharing a life together. And then there's retirement. The thrill of slowing down or having more time or for hobbies and other activities can be coupled with anxious questions about finances and health. Well, whether you experience all three of these milestones or none of them, what major milestone that is a major one for all of us is one day Christ will return to earth. Even followers of Christ can view this event with both excitement and trepidation. What will it be like? Well, life will definitely change. And for those who know Christ, it will only change for the better. Matthew's gospel is built on the foundation of several discourses, starting with the Sermon on the Mount, 5 and 6. Other discourses include chapters 10, 13, and 18. The final example, the Olivet Discourse, is found in Matthew 24 through 25 and emphasizes the end times. While Christians may disagree on the specifics of Jesus' second coming, this discourse leaves no doubt that Christ will return. So in Matthew chapter 24, in verses 3 through 8, we start off reading this. As Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately. "Tell us," they said, "when will this happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?" Well, Jesus answered, "Watch out, that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, claiming, 'I am the Messiah,' and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. But see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen. But the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdoms against kingdoms. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains." People in Christian circles probably argue more about Jesus' second coming than anything else. When will it happen? What are the details? Well, here's what we know for sure. Jesus died. Jesus rose from the dead. Jesus ascended into heaven. And Jesus is coming back. In the minds of the disciples, these two questions, when's it going to happen, what are the details, were probably the same as if something as horrific as the destruction of the temple, which surely would be a part of the end of the age. Well, Jesus' response, however, indicates that these are two separate events. After all, the temple was destroyed in AD 70. But Jesus has not returned yet. Jesus' response was full of unsettling things: wars, threats of war, natural disasters, political strife, and global conflict. Jesus summed it up with this comment: all these are the beginnings of birth pains. So in other words, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And Jesus wasn't through. So beginning in verse 9, Jesus also told of coming persecution, deceptive false prophets, and increasing lawlessness. Through it all, however, the gospel will prevail. Signs point to the return of Christ today. In the next verses, we learn that Jesus will visibly return to earth. In Matthew 24, verses 29 through 32, we read this: "Immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then all the peoples of the earth will mourn when they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the earth, of the heavens, and to the other." So now we learned this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its figs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Earlier, Jesus told his disciples not to chase after alleged sightings and rumors about where the Messiah is. When Jesus returns, we're going to know it. Everyone alive is going to know it. Jesus spoke plainly, "And then all the peoples of the earth will mourn when they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." Well, living as believers means living with anticipation of Jesus' return. Every generation has expected Jesus to return in their lifetime. Worldwide events, whether they are wars or pandemics, have caused Christians to wonder, will Jesus be coming now? Jesus compared the signs of his return to the blooming of a fig tree. The sprouting of leaves simply tells us summer is on its way. And the signs Jesus mentioned tell us that his return is near. When Jesus comes back, it will be magnificent, unmistakable, and extremely real. In the next verses, we learn that we should be prepared and ready for Christ's return. Verses 42 through 44 tell us this: "Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. But understand this: if the owner of the house had known at what time of night the thief was coming, he would have kept watch and would not have let his house be broken into. So you also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him." In this context, Jesus moved from prophecy to practical application. He had laid out things for us to know that point to his return. And now he told us what to do practically in light of that information. Be ready. We should be like the homeowner who heard that a thief was coming in the night. Such a homeowner was diligently on guard and prepared to respond appropriately before the thief ever arrived. Living as people ready for Jesus' return affects everything we do, from the way we pray to the way we interact with those around us. Let us be a people who belong to a bigger kingdom, servants to the master of creation, always on our guard and ready at a moment's notice to enter into the glorious victory our King has promised he will bring. So during the upcoming week, I encourage you to choose one of the following applications from today's study. Pray. Thank Jesus for the promise of returning and setting up a kingdom that is infinitely greater than this world we live in. Ask him to help you live a life of wisdom and readiness. Prepare. Prepare yourself and review your plans and schedule for this week, and consider steps you can take that show you are ready and prepared for Christ's return. Prepare others. Identify those who are not ready for Christ's return. Pray and look for opportunities to either lead them into a personal relationship with Christ or encourage them to renew their walk with Him. Well, whether it's graduation or marriage, the birth of a child, your first house, or retirement, our lives are full of milestones. For the Christian, however, the best is always yet to come. Please ask God for expectant patience as we look forward to Christ's return. Thank Him for the promise of His sure return. God bless you, and I look forward to being with you again during this next Sunday.